Well, joining me now to break down the politics are two former legislators. We have Congressman Martin Frost, a Democrat from Texas, and also Congressman Tom Davis, Republican of Virginia, both of them joining me from Washington. Thank you so much, Congressman, for being here with us. Let me first toss it out to Congressman Frost, because I just had Roger Altman here with me, who he says he has very low expectations there will be a deal come November 23rd. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I think there needs to be a deal. I think both parties suffer if there isn't a deal. They may do this in two parts. They may say, okay, we're going to give instructions to the Ways and Means Committee and Senate Finance Committee to come up with a certain amount of taxes in the next 6 months. That would be punning, but they may do that. But they have to do something. I think if they fail to act, people in both parties are going to suffer in the next election.
So in other words, Congressman Frost, you say that the expectations of a deal are very high then. You expect them to do it.
No, I wouldn't say high, but I think that the leadership, both in the House and the Senate, the Speaker and the Majority Leader, different parties, Republican Speaker, Democratic Majority Leader in the Senate, they both know that there needs to be a deal and that a lot of their incumbents are going to be defeated in both parties if there is no deal. I think the pressure is significant. I think something is going to happen. It may not be very much, but something will happen. Congressman
Davis, you agree?
Well, I think the institution is on trial here. The favorable rating for Congress, 9% is, that's below friends and family. They've got to do something, I think. Even just cutting $1.2 trillion as replacing that instead of sequestering keeps the lights on, but at least it shows Congress is capable of something. If they fail, I think the numbers continue to plunge, and I think it's going to have economic ramifications. I think the members know that, and the leadership know that. $1.2 trillion is really not a high bar when you think about it. So I think they will come up with that, but we should put it in perspective. That's just keeping the lights on. Those cuts continue whether they act or not, but I think they're better off by doing than not doing.
So then, Congressman Davis, a grand bargain, which we were talking with Alice Rivlin about last week, a grand bargain of, let's say, $4 trillion in cuts, that's out of the question here.
Well, it's just very, very difficult, given the short period of time that you have, given how rambunctious both parties' bases are on this. The Democratic base is just not going to eat up cutting entitlement spending, and any significant tax increases, I think, are going to cut right into that Republican base and hurt their coalition going into next year. It just makes it very, very difficult, I think, under those circumstances.
It's very interesting to me the amount of television advertising that special interest groups have been purchasing in the Washington media market in the last month. People saying, don't cut Medicare, don't cut Social Security, don't cut this, don't cut that. I wonder, I haven't seen any stories about whether those ads are running around the country, but they are running a fairly heavy ad buy right here in the Washington market, targeting members of Congress, exactly what Tom is saying. That means you can't have a grand bargain. There's no way you can have big cuts on entitlements right now.
The coalition partners for each party are basically saying, if you hit us, we walk. And I don't think political parties want to take that risk going into an election cycle.
I will tell you that for those of your viewers who are football fans, I wish that Congress would do what TCU did against Boise State over the weekend. Go for the two-point conversion, win or lose it in regulation. Don't put this into overtime. I think their inclination is to put it into overtime and have some sort of instructions to the Ways and Means Committee and Senate Finance Committee to act in the next 6 months.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it with all the time we have, but we're certainly going to, of course, have you back as we count down towards the Supercommittee deadline.